Hey guys, so today I'm going to be moving out of my current place back to my mama's because unfortunately due to COVID I got reduced hours at work, which means I wasn't able to pay my rent, and that's okay because moving back home I can save a lot of money and it kind of just resets me so I can start really pursuing my modeling career once I save up and I can move to LA. So I'm gonna take you guys with me, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun day today. It's gonna be a very eventful day today. After moving, I'm going straight to a protest in Long Beach and then another protest in Santa Ana, because as you guys have seen all over social media, there's been a blackout, pun intended, of Black Lives Matter. The Black Lives Matter movement got this amazing momentum, unfortunately from a very unfortunate event due to the murder of George Floyd by a police officer. So I have my own feelings on that. I will tell you guys about that a little later in the vlog, but I just wanted to show you guys, or I just wanted to take you guys along with me because why not? This is gonna be one for the history books. Alright, so I have a little downtime in between moving all my boxes from my old place to my mom's place. So I just wanted to touch up upon my thoughts on what's happening with the Black Lives Matter movement. So just to preface and start off my position in the Black Lives Matter movement. Starting from Eric Garner, Michael Brown, all those black men who unfortunately lost their lives to excessive force of police brutality. After that, you just kept seeing more black men and black women being killed by police in the news. You kind of become desensitized to it. You're like, oh shit, this is kind of normalized in a very morbid kind of sense. It's normalized because there's no laws about it, there's no lawsuits. Well, no, I'm sorry, I take that back. There have been plenty of lawsuits, but nothing has brought justice to those men and women that have lost their lives.
Drop that bitch.
So after a couple of years, actually, more and more names became hashtags, and like I said, it just became more normalized on your social media feed and all other places. And I don't know, there are a lot of activists that have been trying to get justice for these people, but for some reason there was just no momentum for it. And so when 2020 came along, and then so many more deaths happened, and the most recent ones have been Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and Tony McDade too, of course. I think the fact that it was all just back to back. First, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, first it was Ahmaud, then it was Breonna, who died in her own home from police brutality, which doesn't make sense at all. And then there was Tony McDade, whose name a lot of people don't know, because just that whole section in Black Lives Matter movement is a whole thing in itself, the black trans lives. And then, of course, George Floyd, who's the face of the Black Lives Matter movement currently. The fact that it was back to back, that's what got me personally as a person of color. As a person of color, from being desensitized to it, because before, each hashtag had kind of a little grace period. It was a grace period. There's just moments in between the movement basically before, but now this year it was 4 deaths, I think, within a couple weeks, maybe 2 months at most. That's what got me, because it kind of just shows that the police system doesn't care. The police system is protecting their own. They're protecting the blue collars and they're protecting the badges, but they're not protecting the most important people and the reason why they're here. They're not protecting their people, and that's what pisses me the fuck off, because every time America gets into the conversation, it's about, oh, liberty, we have freedom, we have this, we have that. But at the end of the day, our police state is so corrupt. And the reason why it's so corrupt is because of the history of white supremacy and racism. And there's a lot of conservatives, a lot of centralists that would say, oh, like the police are racist, you know, you're just a left liberal who is trying to brainwash people and trying to change and not make America great again. Fuck that! Like, I'm just done. It's just heartbreaking. I think it's also because I got older too. And when you get older, you start realizing, you start having empathy for the magnitude of certain dark things and certain real life, like world things like racism. And being 25, almost 26, I finally have this power in me to be able to stand up for what I want. You guys know that I'm trying to chase my dream right now, and I just have this like fire within me to make this world a better place. At first, my movement was about sustainability and being eco-friendly and all that, which I'm gonna still promote afterwards. But at this very moment, when we have momentum, my priorities have changed immensely. My priority is to make sure Black lives matter in this fucking country, because it hasn't been for centuries. And you can even Google yourself. Like, definitely do your research. I implore you guys also do your research about your history. People always say America's this great country, yada yada yada. Everybody says that about every other country. But when you are a citizen and you've been in this country for about 2 decades, you kind of see how news are brainwashed to speak to you and make you think a certain way. Like, for example, I'm kind of just going on a rant right now. I've been having a lot of feelings these past couple of days, like true mad feelings, which is why I know these next couple of days are going to be a big change, because I've never gotten this angry before. I've never gotten this mad before, upset. I've never taken it personally before George Floyd, and I know that's really bad to say. I admit that, but now I understand my actions. I understand that I have a voice. I have a power to make change. Anyways, so back to my point. The news media in America specifically has so many biases that I didn't realize when I was younger. Recently, I just watched the Fox News report on YouTube just to update myself about COVID and some other little things going on in America right now. And just some other things to update myself in general. I listened to certain words they were using and certain phrases they were using. They were calling the COVID-19 virus the Wuhan virus, and they were just saying a lot of politically or racially charged words, politically charged words too. And I'm like, has Fox News always been this conservative? And by conservative, I mean like trying to brainwash people into thinking a certain way. You would think news media would be neutral, but Fox News wasn't. They were using all these terms, and I'm like, like I said before, once you get older, you realize that you can't just trust any source. You can't even trust certain people too with certain sources, which is why you have to Google yourself. You have to do the research yourself. And I know it can seem overwhelming, because for me, I'm like, there's so much I have to learn, there's so much I have to do, but do baby steps. At first, Google definitions, then start Googling some movements or some phrases that you might not understand. Like, just Google what you don't know, and from there, you kind of just do a snowball effect, and you start reading more, you start educating yourself more on a very neutral, unbiased perspective. And I hope it is unbiased, and I hope that it's neutral, because if you're just researching just to prove your point, yeah, that in a sense it is effective to prove your point, but also I don't want to say I'm devil's advocate, but I do believe you should know both sides. And knowing both sides will actually help your argument more, because you'll know what the opposer is gonna say. You know what the opposer is gonna say, and then you can speak on it. Because not everyone's gonna agree with you. With the people that disagree with you, they're allowed to disagree with you. But if you're gonna disagree with them, make sure you know what the fuck you're talking about. You know, I've had so many political conversations with friends, and I know what I felt was right. The reason why I agreed with certain issues and certain things was right. However, I didn't have the intellectual knowledge to clap back and to fight for my position. And you can fight for your position all you want. You can like believe in whatever you want, but if you can't explain why you agree with that position, I learned that your argument just kind of invalidates. It just invalidates within the conversation, you know. Period. And then going back to the history of the police force and the white supremacy and the racism in the police state. If you go back in time, the police state in America, when it first started, first colonies and everything, it was to police the state of the slave trade, and it was just already anti-black from the get-go. This system that we have, this police system that we have in America, it was built on anti-black values. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. I gotta figure this shit out. Alright guys, hey, so I'm at the location of the protest. Here's my sign. Black Lives Matter! Woo! Demand justice! Bros that protest together, stay together.
Stay together, that's
Period.
right. Period.
You mean your friends too? Hello.
What up?
Oh, you don't have to say your name, but
Oh, it's Bonnie. What's up?
Bonnie, what's up?
Black Lives Matter.
Woo!
Yes.
All right.
Too, but I'm not gonna show my face.
Yes, another 5 fam from AFIO is here, but I'm not gonna say who, obviously.
It's a mystery.
But we did!